Hello, please enter your 6-digit conference code. Welcome to free conference calling. We will now connect you to your call. Please say your name.
Matt.
Matt.
Sandra Griffin.
Hey, Sandra. Hi, Joe.
Hello.
Hey, Joe. Hey, Sandra.
Hey, Lee. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Alan.
Oh, hey, good morning, Alan.
Good morning, Matt. How are you today?
I'm real good. How are you?
Doing awesome. Thank you. Go ahead.
Ira Stone.
Morning, Ira.
Good morning, Matt.
Good morning. Hi, everybody. Matt McCrae here with Chelsea Insurance Group. We're getting ready to start our weekly conference call. So if you're on Periscope,
Roger.
YouTube, Facebook, thank you for joining us. We're getting ready to kick off this meeting here in just a second. Letting a few more people dial into the call.
Joel, sold.
Okay, we'll give everybody another, 10, 15 seconds. Lee, if you want to get ready to mute the call out and start recording here momentarily.
Line muted. Line unmuted.
Let me know when you're ready to record.
Okay, thanks. Yeah, let's go ahead and get started now.
Conference recording started.
Good morning, everybody. Happy Monday. It is June 19th, 2017. I'm Matt McCrae with Chelsea Insurance Group. Just want to thank everybody for being on the call today. Hope you had a great weekend. Those of you who are fathers, hope you had a great Father's Day. And let's go ahead and kick off the call. Last week we had talked about, on our call, we had talked about different ways to overcome objections. And I got a lot of feedback and response from the agents. They really enjoyed the call last week. So hopefully, you guys are putting that into place, into practice. If you missed the call last week, you can always go back to chelseainsurancegroup.com. On the home page, you'll see a link where you can get right over to our conference calls. And all of our previous conference calls, we record those and put them up on the website, typically later on Monday after the call or by Tuesday at the latest. Those are typically available for you. So if you missed last week's call, make sure you go watch it when you do have a few 20 to 30 minutes of free time. You're going to learn in that call about the VIC, verify, isolate, the VIC closing. So make sure you watch that. Now, every week we also talk a little bit about what our average annual premium is. And this week it did drop down just a little bit, but we're at $842.12. So the average monthly premium is $70.18. And I also run that number for the year. For the year we're at $861.11. So that's the average annualized premium for the year on all of the policies that we've written. $71.76 per month. So that's that. Now, a couple other announcements. Us here at Chelsea Insurance Group, we are striving to provide the best customer service that we can to all of our agents. So, we're going to try and provide you as much customer service as we can. And we're doing that through adding on additional employees in our home office and putting some policies and procedures in place that we expect all of our staff to follow up with. So we're just doing this to make sure that we can provide all of our agents the best customer service and support that we can. So we're here for you guys if you need us. tomorrow we are doing a webinar with Transamerica. Transamerica did one with us a few weeks ago, maybe a month ago, and they did it on the final expense plan. Now, the product that we're doing it on tomorrow is the Trendsetter Express, which is a term product. Now, this is not our primary focus, but we've had some agents that are starting to write a little bit of it here, because although we focus primarily on the senior market and the final expense plans, you know, as an agent, you're going to run into situations where you know somebody or somebody knows somebody that needs some additional insurance, and final expense is not always going to be the right fit. So we asked Transamerica to do a webinar for us for our group of agents, and they're going to do that tomorrow at 1 o'clock. Later today or tomorrow morning, I will send out an email to everybody with a link to that, so you can so you know how to get onto that webinar. Every week I try and give everybody one little bullet point of information that you can take and walk away from this call and say, you know, I'm going to put that into place and I'm going to increase my business. You know, one week we talked about business card magnets, you know, putting your business cards on a magnet and leaving it on the refrigerator. You know, we talk about different phrases that you can use. We talk about wearing ID badges around your neck. This week, my one little idea, and I got this idea from watching a video of an interview of Peter Rosengard. And if you guys aren't familiar who Peter Rosengard is, he's a very famous life insurance agent from the United Kingdom. You know, he started his career in the 70s, so he's been doing this for a very long time. And I was watching an interview with him. At one point, he had the largest life insurance policy that was ever sold. It was a $100 million life insurance policy. Now, since then, you know, there's been other policies that have been sold. I think the record currently right now is 201 million. So this interview was kind of an older interview, but you know, the guys that have been in the business for a long time, you can learn a lot from them. And the nugget that I pulled from his video and the interview with him, and that was Peter Rosengard. He said he congratulates everybody. So, you know, I sit back and I think, you know what, that kind of ties in with the good news that I had talked about, you know, a couple weeks ago. You know, always tell people, good news, I'm going to be in your neighborhood, or the good news is you may be eligible. You know, you could take that one step further and say, congratulations, I've got some good news for you. You are eligible to apply for this coverage. You know, I'd like to congratulate you on that. Or when they choose a plan, you've laid out 3 different options for them, and they pick one. You know, we always circle that one and we congratulate them on making a decision. A lot of times in human nature, it's hard to make a decision. Doesn't matter which one they pick, circle it, congratulate them on making that decision. But anyways, his congratulations was a little bit different. You know, he's congratulating people when he first meets them, and that's how he sold that $100 million life insurance policy. He called somebody to congratulate them because they had, based on a business decision that had been made, you know, one company was purchasing another company, and the success of that company was based on this guy being alive and going out and finding talent for that company. So he called the guy to congratulate him, and ended up selling him a $100 million face amount on a policy. So if you take away anything from this call today, you know, we're going to go into the main call here in a minute, but that's the one little nugget I have for increasing your sales. Start congratulating people. People enjoy and people like to be congratulated. So this week's main topic for our call that I wanted to go over with everybody is, in the industry that we're in, life insurance, because that's what we're in. Every one of us on the call, we're a team of agents who sell life insurance. I don't know if you guys are all aware of this, but 91% of agents who get into this market fail. That's huge. So today's call, we're going to talk a little bit about that and things that we can do as agents, whether you've been in the business for 6 months, for 5 years, for 20 years right now. There's going to be little bits of information that we can learn in this call today that's going to help make sure that we succeed and we stay in this business long term. Because hopefully everybody who's in this business isn't just here for a short period of time. Hopefully you came to this business because you believe in it, you love it, and you want to be here. So let's talk about the reasons why agents fail 91% of the time in the life insurance industry. Well, when we did a poll on agents, and the polls come back and say that the top 3 complaints that agents have about the insurance industry or life insurance is leads, whether it's lack of leads, quality of leads, or quantity of leads, or quality or quantity. Another reason is training. They don't feel that they receive enough training. And number 3 is support. They don't receive enough support. And as I'm hearing this and seeing the feedback, I sit back and I think, man, that's what Chelsea is all about. If you look at our logo on our website, what does it say? It says Chelsea Insurance Group, and underneath that it says, leads, training, and support. So we need to make sure that we're providing our agents with avenues on each and every one of these. And when I have discussions with the staff and Alan and I are talking, these are the things that we're talking about. How can we support our agents? How can we make sure that they're getting the training that they need? And how can we make sure that they have leads in their hands on a consistent basis? A couple of other things that factor in why agents fail is a lot of times they come in with unreal expectations. Or a big one is they spend a lot of their time focusing on the wrong things. When I look at the business, I focus on the things that are going to generate sales. What is going to generate sales for our agency? And those are the things that I focus on. If you look at a tax return, the top 5% of the tax return is the income that's coming into the business. And then the bottom 95% is all of the expenses and expenses on this. And I believe that you should focus all of your effort on the top line. Just because it's 5% of that top line doesn't mean that you don't need to focus on that. So these are a lot of the reasons that agents fail. And what we would like to see happen, and what we would like, to the information that we want to share with you guys today is what you can do to make sure that you're not one that fails. And you could fail even if you've been in the business for a couple years already. You could still be one that gets out and moves on. These are some things that you can do today, moving forward, to make sure that you're not one of the 91% of agents who fail in this business. And I'm going to start off today with number 1 item. The number 1 thing on my list is a system. There needs to be a system in place for everything that you do. Whether it's your weekly schedule, you need to have that systematically set up. So every week it's the same thing. If you're in the office on certain days setting appointments and booking your field days, and you're in the field days on certain times, you got to set these. You have to have a system and a schedule. The next thing is you need to have a good flow of leads. 10 or 15 leads every once in a while is not going to get it. You're not going to make it. You're not going to make the true income that you need to have. You've got to have leads on a consistent weekly basis. And you got to have a system to get those leads. The number of appointments needs to be part of your system. How many appointments are you going to schedule? How many appointments are you going to set on a weekly basis? And you need to do everything that you can to stick to that number. Hit it and make it. You need to have a system for your sales presentation. You need to have a system for your training. You need to set a certain amount of time. And a lot of times the agents, what they're talking about is the carriers, they don't provide a lot of training on sales, and that's typically what the agents need. The agents can read a book and understand what the product is, and they can read a brochure and understand what the benefits are. But that doesn't mean that the agents know how to go out and sell insurance. So you have to have a system for your training. So number one on my list is system. Systemize everything that you do. Number two is consistency. If you want to be in the 9% of agents who succeed in this market and continue in this market because you enjoy it, you love it, you like it, and you like helping people, stay consistent with the things that you do. Find something that works. Talk to Lee, talk to Alan, talk to myself, talk to another agent that you know. Learn things that are working for those agents. Get a system in place, and once you find one that works, stay consistent. Work at it every day. Consistency matters. It really does. My number 3 is don't become complacent. If you're doing an okay job and you're hitting a set number and that's okay, don't stick with that. Consistently try and find ways that's going to make your job better, make it easier, and make it so you can sit down and see more people on a weekly basis. One of the things that and I talk with a lot of agents on a weekly basis, week in, week out. I'm talking to whether it's an agent that's working with us already and they need some support or they need some help, or it's an agent who's looking to come aboard with Chelsea Insurance Group. I talk to a lot of agents. I talk to guys that are making zero income. They're struggling. They're doing awful. I talk with agents who are making $300,000 a year, $200,000 a year, $100,000 a year, $50,000 a year. I talk to agents at almost every income bracket that you can imagine when it comes to selling life insurance. And the things that I notice that the top producers are doing, they hire people to help them. They focus on going out and seeing people and selling. So what do? They hire somebody that's going to call and set their appointments for them. They have that same person, or they hire somebody different who's going to process their business. So when they come back to the office at the end of the day, they've got a stack of applications. What do? They drop it off at their staffs that they're paying, somebody that you can pay $10 an hour to. Have them do the tasks that take so much of your time. Have them call and schedule your appointments. These are things that you can pay other people to do inside of your business. And the guys and the girls that are making the real incomes in selling life insurance, that's what they're doing. They hire people to schedule appointments. They hire people to process their business. They make sure that they have a consistent lead flow. Every week they're getting 30, 40, 50 leads. Somebody's assigned to call those leads, and then when they write the deals, they've got somebody processing that. So those are some key things. Yeah, if you're just getting into the business, can you hire somebody to do all that stuff now? No, I don't recommend you to do that. I recommend every dime that you have right now go into leads. You have to learn how to set appointments yourself. You have to learn how to schedule those appointments. But if you're at the point where you're at an income level where you're busy all the time, you've got enough income to continue supporting your leads, hire one person. Start them off part-time, whatever it is. That's what I see the successful agents who are really killing it, making $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 a year. That's what I see them doing. And if you want to get to that point where you're in the 9% that's really making it, those are some of the things that you need to look forward. Start putting a plan together to get you there so you can do that as well. And that's, so the call today was basically on why do 91% of the agents fail. They blame it on leads, training, support. They have unreal expectations, and they focus on the wrong thing. So what are things that you can do as an agent to make sure that you're not going to fail? Set up a system for everything. Be consistent. Don't become complacent. That's it. That's what I've got today. Alan, you got anything to throw in? Maybe Alan's still on mute. Okay. Lear, anybody else have anything to throw in?
Yeah, Matt, I'm there.
Okay.
Hey, no, I agree with everything. I mean, everything revolves around activity, positive activity. The more activity you have, the more sales you're going to make, the more appointments you're going to have, the more income you're going to earn. So, just, as the day goes by, I always think, well, what could I do to be more productive? And I lean towards those activities that are going to have a positive effect on my day, on my job, on my income. But great job, Matt. Thank you.
Thanks, Alan. Okay, so that's it. Calls ended a little early today. Let's have a great week. Let's focus on doing whatever we can to make a great week. And remember, if you're interested in the Trend Center, that's tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern. We'll send out an email later today. Thanks, and have a great week.